Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the People Processes podcast. I'm your host, Rami Alijil, the CEO of People Processes, and I'm very happy to have you here today. I got a follow-up question on a prior podcast about attestations, about asking employees whether they've had exposure to the virus, taking temperatures, even requiring testing for schools, that kind of thing, before people attend. What happens if an employee refuses to take the test? And even deeper, what if they're like a savvy employee and they claim under the ADA a medical reason for not taking the test? Can you still force them to take the test? And we're going to be addressing that in today's podcast. It's a complex question. It's actually the interesting answer is pretty simple, but the question itself is quite complex. So what if they just say no? And what if they say no, but then also claim that under the ADA, they have a medical reason that they can't take this test? Interesting. Before we get too deep, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. It makes a huge difference to us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, thumbs up, anything you're willing to do. Even dropping a comment makes a huge difference. And of course, if you're on the iTunes page, check it out. Review this episode. It makes a big difference for us as well. Also, as a reminder, you can subscribe at peopleprocesses.com. We have tons of COVID-19 resources on there, including an FAQ that will include this going forward. So please take a look on there. Now, under the circumstances existing currently, the ADA has specifically allowed an employer to bar an employee from physical presence in the workplace. Sorry, I have my notes here. The physical presence in the workplace if he refuses to have his temperature taken, refuses to answer questions about whether he has COVID-19, has symptoms associated with COVID-19, or has been tested for COVID-19 and is positive. Also, in the case of certain medical facilities, schools, those kind of things, if they refuse to take a COVID-19 test prior to maybe resuming from the summer, that kind of thing, this is also a reason you can bar their entry. Okay? Now, if they claim under the ADA, look, I can't do this, that's a medical reason. And here's the thing, they still don't get to come on board. They still don't get to come in. However, you want to ask a discussion and document their reason why they say they can't take the test. And at this point, under the ADA, this is a request for accommodation. The accommodation is not you don't have to take the test. The accommodation would be, can this person work from home? Can they work in a way that they don't have a physical presence here at the office or the manufacturing facility or the retail store? If those reasonable accommodations are not available, if you can't do them, they can't do their job without those things, they're on unpaid leave, right? Or you can fire them. I mean, you can either say, okay, well, look, we'll give you 3 weeks of unpaid leave and maybe you'll decide then to do it. That'd be an option. Unpaid leave could be a accommodation. I would recommend that, in fact. If they absolutely can't end and you say, all right, well, look, since you have this disability, you have a medical reason not for taking the test, we won't fire you. We'll just not pay you for a month or 2 months until this thing settles down, or 6 months, whatever. You can always quit, let us know. Or you can actually fire them if that is even unreasonable. Like, you absolutely need this job filled. You can't have them sit around at home and not get paid. Fire them, hire somebody else. Okay. The employer, there's a couple things. Sometimes employees are reluctant to provide medical information because they fear an employer may widely spread such personal information throughout the workplace. The ADA does prohibit such broad disclosures. Additionally, if an employer requests reasonable accommodation with respect to screening, the usual accommodation process should be followed. Okay, like I said, so you definitely want to make sure you're doing the standard accommodation process, which means examining it. Can we make an accommodation? Yes or no? Come to a conclusion. Issue it. But let's go back a little bit, which is the widely spread such medical information. A lot of times when you ask the employee why, some people are going to be stupid and say, well, I just don't want to do it. Okay, well, some people will say there's a medical reason. Some will say they don't trust the company with that sort of information. The CDC's issued guidance on keeping track of this information. Basically, this can be a very basic yes or no kind of thing that you keep. You want to keep your medical records separate from your personnel records. You want to limit access to them, specifically to those who must know it. One person in the company, something like that, who can make the determinations. Maybe two. You want to limit that information and access to it in the future. But a lot of times it's just kind of having a conversation. People think they can get away with it, and you just need to go, hey, why do you not want to take this? And if they have a real medical reason, and I don't know what it would be. Maybe they don't have a nose. and therefore they can't take a nose swab. I don't know, whatever it is, sure, whatever. Look at it as a reasonable accommodation request and go through that process. But in most cases, by explaining, look, we're keeping all this information confidential, it's separate, your manager won't see it, they'll only know that you weren't able to return, right? Those sorts of things. If you do have a positive diagnosis, we keep all this stuff safe. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rami Alijil. I hope that was helpful to you. We keep track of this information again at peopleprocesses.com under our COVID-19 resources. I want to recommend you subscribe on there for updates. Quick thing, October 15th and 16th, we'll be having our digital summit for the year. We have 12 amazing speakers lined up. It's free to attend on the day of October 15th and 16th. We'll be talking about everything from onboarding and recruiting, recruiting ads, how to interview correctly, through terminations, the management process along the way, performance expectations, even what to do with your alumni, your employees that you fired or quit a long time ago. Can be an amazing resource for your organization. I'm really looking forward to that talk. I hope to see you there. You can register at peopleprocesses.com, click on the banner for the Digital Summit, go to the Digital Summit page to learn more about the speakers and the topics being covered. I look forward to seeing you there, and thank you for tuning in. Now it's time for you to go out there, have a great day, and get your work done. I'll see you tomorrow.